So I am Doug Cower. I am the idiot in charge here at Cower Guitars. I am the guy that was dumb enough to start this place and somehow stubborn enough to stick with it. But yeah, I just started building guitars kind of for fun and to take advantage of, I grew up woodworking in my parents' cabinet shop and made stuff for fun and made stuff on the CNC, and then in 2008, I took advantage of the recession because there was nothing else to do and started building guitars kind of full-time and designed the Daylighter, which was my first original model, and then been here ever since. Besides the family credit, obviously that would be the first thing. So like I said, I grew up woodworking. I always wanted to play guitar. My parents told me if I got good grades, they would get me lessons. I gave up and taught myself how to play guitar. That was easier than working hard in school. I learned AutoCAD in 99, 2000, 2D AutoCAD, and when we weren't drawing graphic mail-driven images on each other's saved files. Or houses shaped like that. I learned actual skills in the family business. We also happened to be right around the same time my dad bought probably the first CNC for a cabinet shop in the era, and so it just became kind of my job to program stuff on it. When I got into guitar building, I didn't know there was a boutique industry. I just kind of was doing it for fun, and then kind of found that out, and I met Nick Huber walking my first NAMM show. I went in 2007 and walked it, and then I went to my first real guitar show in Montreal, which was back then was part of the Montreal Jazz Festival, and walked in, and Nick remembered me, knew who I was super kind to me. Everybody else was too, but like specifically Nick Huber was that guy, and I just fell in love with the people who do this. And I sold a guitar, got colossally drunk, made a $300 international phone call while I stumbled my way home. I came home and quit my job and went full-time doing this. It's the gold medal meme biting. It was very much that. Yeah. I try to stress to people there is a million ways to get to the end result. There is no correct way to get to the end result. There's a million different ways to do this. It depends on the tools you have available, or how you learn to do things, or how you've worked around what resources you have. The end result's the only thing that matters in the end. Does it play good? Does it sound good? Does it look cool? Does it excite you? The other part of that is I have a formula that I settled on that makes me happy, and if it makes somebody else happy, that's great. And then going forward, hey, I really like what Doug likes. I like his approach to things, or what his ears hear, or the same as what my ears hear. I don't need to build a guitar that does everything, and I don't need to build guitars for all things, and some of it's because it's not my wheelhouse or it's not authentic, but I'm not building fan fret 8-string guitars because I wouldn't know what to do with it. I build the thing that makes me excited, and I think that comes off more authentic. So much room for creativity, and it's weird to me because music is supposed to be a creative business, and we're all obsessed about the decisions that somebody made 60 years ago because that's what they had available to them when what became the blueprint for everybody else later. And so our little thing is just what makes me happy, and if people like it, then it makes me extra happy. We were just having this discussion about how I did not appreciate how good music still was if you're into guitar in the late 90s and early aughts, besides grunge and everything else, and I like ska and all that, that was still a good era, so you could have a foot in both camps. So that definitely influenced my personal tastes, and my visual things like, offsets. It's obviously why I'm big into offsets, is Nirvana and grunge and all that, and but the sonic formula that I have kind of settled to is definitely more of a traditional adjacent. It's classic F and G style stuff. The main wood we used, though, was another builder that I made friends with early on. Yuho Recongus turned me onto it, and it's Spanish mahogany. The trade name is Spanish cedar. We got tired of explaining that it's not cedar or Spanish. It's basically Honduran's cousin. It just consistently hits for the formula we want. I'm a much bigger believer that the body wood is not as important as we make it out to be. It's important, but the neck will drastically change how a guitar reacts, how it sounds, and basically the response curve of that guitar. When we want to do something more Fender flavored, that's 25.5 scale maple neck. Those are requirements. And then you can kind of actually play with the body woods, and so we do a lot of Spanish mahogany bodies in Tele and Strat-esque layouts, and they still do that thing, but then we can kind of change the EQing a little bit like that, versus when we want to go more 24 3/4 traditional sound scale stuff. That's you definitely want the Spanish mahogany neck, and you want some of those details to match, and so that kind of builds the formula around that. So we're in Sacramento. We're also the starting point for the Transcontinental Railroad. That's like Sacramento's big thing. I guess this is my version of being on the spectrum. I love trains and I love large mechanical things. So a lot of the early guitars were named after trains. And that actually kind of started because I designed what became the Daylighter. And that was something I did for fun. I was still working for my parents' business, and my dad and I played hooky to go chase Union Pacific. I want to say it was 844. One of their larger steam engines. They were running it through the valley on an excursion. So we took the day off to go chase it, and I was like, I should just name everything after trains. Because all the car names had already been taken. And then there's a few exceptions. Banshee is actually what the original name for the Pontiac Firebird was. And Pontiac thought that naming something that means screaming death in Gaelic was a bad idea, because the first time somebody got killed in one, it would write its own headline. And then the Corona, it also happened to coincide with the pandemic right as we were launching that thing, and we were kind of joking that we should just call it the Corona, but it is our homage to a T-style guitar, and so it seemed kind of fitting. And it's tough now, though. There's too many of us. There's way too many guitars. There's too many of us. When we did Grippin', it took a long time to find a name. Like, my search history was a lot of words and guitar, and I got real weird ads for a long time, like Japanese knives and just all kinds of stuff. And we settled on Grippin' because I also love airplanes, and I'm a Volvo fanatic, and Volvo only uses numbers and letters, but Grippin's a Swedish fighter jet that I always liked, and so that's kind of opened this series now. So Grippin' and Draken. Grippin's the most current. Draken was before that plane, or Vegan might be. I don't know. We'll see. We'll get some mileage out of that one. There was also one, though, that is a Simpsons joke. Arcturus, which was a model we used to make. It's from my favorite Simpsons episode with Hank Scorpio, and it's Project Arcturus is the name for his criminal plot to take over the world. And so we had jokingly were calling that thing Project Arcturus, and then the name just kind of stuck. And so. First of all, we love you guys. Russo has been phenomenal for us. We really like working with you guys. It's been a great partnership, and I really appreciate. We've done direct, we've done dealer. The point of dealers for us is to let people who walk in the door get a fair shot at seeing something they've never seen before. And some stores really get that, and some stores don't. And you guys really get it, and I really appreciate that. We make the best thing we can possibly make with the resources we have, and the best guitar you can buy from us is the one that we make tomorrow, hopefully, or made today at least. And we stand behind the stuff we make. We just want to make that little improvement every time, and we just want to have fun doing this. We take the guitar serious, but it's supposed to be something fun. So we really enjoy when people weird metal flakes or whatever wacky thing we want to go do, and have fun with it. Be a sonic palette that you can do whatever you want with it. And if you want to be ridiculous and have a night near Barbie pink, we're here for you. And if you want it to be a sunburst, that's fine too. I like shooting sunbursts. So that's, yeah.
Thank you so much for Mr. Music. We appreciate you doing this.
Thank you. You guys in Big N our cromulent spirit.